Finishes are complicated. Should you use spray-ons? How about a brush? Or wipe on? Then you have grain direction, drying times. Spray too much and it runs, too little and it looks dry. Then later you have dust nibs, brush marks, and years later when the finish gets scratched, worn, or just starts looking tired. What's it gonna take to bring it back? So if you're looking for a finish that's easy to apply, easy to maintain, and easy to repair, I'm gonna show you one of the simplest finishing systems I know and rely on. It starts with Danish oil. It really is one of the easiest finishes that you'll ever apply. Flood the surface, let the wood take what it wants, and wipe away what it doesn't. That's it. But if ease was all I cared about, I'd own stock and spray paint. Ease is only part of the finished equation. There's appearance, there's protection, and no matter how careful we are, there's how easy it'll be to repair years down the road. And this really applies to every finish. Take polyurethane, for example. Protection is its biggest strength. It's durable, highly water resistant, and lasts a long time. The trade-off is that it's more demanding to apply. Dust nibs, brush marks, and runs are common problems. And if it ever needs repair, you're often sanding and refinishing part or all of the surface. Danish oil, in my experience, is one of the best balanced finishes you can buy. It goes on incredibly easily, deepens the color, and really brings out the figure and chatoyance of the wood. And years from now, if it ever needs another coat, the repair is as simple as adding another coat of oil. The trade-off is that it won't protect as long as polyurethane. And that's exactly what we're going to address next. Danish oil is a penetrating finish, which means it works by soaking into the surface fibers of the wood. That's what gives us so much of the depth, the color, and the figure that we're looking for. But because most of that finish is inside of the wood, it doesn't really build up much of a protective layer on top. So after the oil has had time to cure, and that's in my shop about 24 to 48 hours, I add a paste wax to the top. The wax does the opposite. It sits on the surface and acts like a thin barrier. It's not waterproof and it doesn't turn this into polyurethane, but it does help repel moisture. It also gives the wood a smoother feel and buffs to a soft luster. I'll take the tape off and hopefully you can see a difference. It might be hard to catch with the camera. I can actually feel a line between the two, but the wax side has a little bit more of a glow to it and the surface has a nice smooth feel. This is one of my favorite things about using wax. But it's not just about the way it looks and feels. Let's test to see if it has a better protection. To make the difference easier to see, I'm going to be mixing some trans tint dye, and I'm going a little heavy with it. Now you're probably not going to have to worry about wood dye splashing onto a finished project, so this isn't exactly a normal spill. And this is my first time trying this test, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to add a single drop to each side. Let it sit for a few seconds, and instead of just wiping it off, I'm going to tip the board so we can see the path it leaves behind. And that's the difference. On the wax side, the water beads up and breaks apart. On the oil-only side, it wets the surface more and leaves a longer trail behind. So again, this isn't polyurethane protection, but the wax does add a little bit more of a shield compared to the Danish oil alone. Earlier, I went over Danish oil as being a flood finish. Let the wood take what it wants and wipe off the rest. And that really is the basic idea, but it's not foolproof, so I'm gonna flip through a few quick note cards that make it work better. First, the obvious one. Make sure the surface is finished. You're not gonna hide glue spots, scratches, or rough sanding. I like to use a scraper before I'm ready for a finish, but you can sand up to 220 and really no less than about 180. Before you put it on, it's a good idea to mix it. I have mine in a stop-loss bag so I can kind of knead it and check to make sure it looks consistent throughout. When it's time to put it on, you're not dabbing it like you would with a paintbrush. I like to pour it on and corral it around until it's everywhere. If you have a big area, a silicone scraper works really well for this. The wood is going to drink it up differently in different areas, so this is less about painting it on and more about observing what it does with what you give it. I like to give it a few minutes to stay wet looking, which gives it a chance to fully absorb it. And then, after it's had its fill, I wipe off what remains. If you've done it right, there really won't be anywhere else for it to go. In my garage, with the humidity that I have here, I found that it usually feels dry around 24 hours, but it can take up to 48 hours or longer, depending on the wood and the conditions. I know that everyone likes to think of things in time, but it's not really the clock, it's the surface. If it feels tacky, soft, or oily, you should wait. You don't want to add wax too early because you can trap uncured oil under the wax. Once the oil is cured and it's done its thing, that's when I add the paste wax. And adding wax is even easier than adding the oil. You're not trying to build a thick, greasy layer, just a thin coat. Grab a clean rag, add some wax to it, and rub it on. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You're not leaving clumps or streaks behind. You're just covering the surface. I've heard other people talk about letting it haze over, but I usually just give it a few minutes and then rub the surface like I'm polishing something. Again, you're not adding a steel wall, you're adding a thin layer that dirt, grime, and moisture hits before they can get down to the finish as easily. Finally, repairs. Nobody likes repairs, but they're a natural part of upkeep. The thing that I love about using wax is that I don't have to treat every little worn spot like it's a full refinishing project. If the surface starts looking dull, I can clean it, add another thin coat of wax, and buff it back out. And if the wood itself starts looking dry or worn, I can remove the wax with mineral spirits, add more Danish oil, let it cure, and then wax it again. I'm not sanding everything back or trying to blend a repair into the surrounding finish. Think of it like waxing furniture. Most of the upkeep isn't stripping anything back. It's cleaning the surface, adding a little more wax, and buffing it out. A big thank you to the patrons who help keep the website running. If you'd like to support the channel and join the league, I'll have a link down in the description. Thank you so much, friends, and remember to keep making things.